Welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age 2. I'm still Garmonix, and I still have Saponic the Poster with me.
Hooray!
Just gonna get a new friend. A nice healthy friend.
The anime friend.
Yeah.
The streets aren't safe at night. We should do something about that.
But a different type of anime than the other anime friend. Oh, right. I forgot that was a really quick cut I did. Let's have a transition. We have new armor on.
The taverns in Hightown are all owned by the merchants.
Good Dragon Age armor.
Yep. And
Cool sword, too.
yes, it's also for... I can't remember if that's for doing the little Flash game that came out before... Because it's been a while.
That sword appears in Inquisition, too. Hater's Razor, I think it's called.
Yep. It's really nice here because it has a chance of knockdown. More terrible enemy spawns just dropping out of the sky.
Dragon Age 2.
But let's go meet a... well, Anzo. Appears for this one thing, then never shows up.
Never see him again.
Are you Ansel?
Ah, sweet mother of part. You can't just run up on
Also a very good dwarf in this game.
Are you the one that mercenary told me about? The one looking for work?
Just tell me what you want.
Of course. Listen to me babbling like a lyrium smuggler, which I...
Of course not.
My apologies, Hugh.
If you're ever something, you aren't actually that thing.
I keep thinking I'll fall up into that sky any minute.
Bartrand used to be like that. Got jumpy every time he stepped outside.
What a bizarre thing to be scared of.
But I digress. I need some help.
Bethany, that's culturally insensitive.
Some product of mine has been misplaced. The men who were supposed to deliver it decided not to. If you retrieve my property, I could reward you handsomely.
Just what did these
I
men steal?
don't see why that's a question.
Did I say steal?
Yeah.
I don't
Why do
know
we
if I'd
care?
go that far. They seemed like perfectly reasonable smugglers. They smiled and everything. The goods are valuable, however, and illegal. And my client wants them very, very badly. You know how these Templars can be.
Aha, we got him.
You're smuggling lyrium to the Templars.
Maker's breath. Between the Chantry, the Carta, and the...
It is lyrium.
By the Paragons, not so loudly. My word, I'm not cut out for this. I should have taken that job sweeping stables like Mother insisted.
Do they have a lot of call for stables in
And I'll help
Orzammar?
you.
Oh, I will.
Well, if it's like other dwarven cities and other places of fantasy, probably.
If you have to kill them, then I guess it can't be avoided.
Never seen a dwarf on a horse. At least not in the first two games.
Then just... I cut out another long fight to go into yet another long fight. This one... The one nice thing, though, about this group of people is all of them are archers. So they like to pile up if you just get behind something. And they don't deal as much damage as everyone else.
Inquisition, the archers are the fucking worst.
Yeah. Disappointed me playing as a bow ranger and just you do nothing for damage for a while. I guess that's because you can just kind of get distance, not get hurt, and occasionally have your backflip bug out and send you flying across the map. Here's some more backstory on Kirkwall. Very weird things happening. another mention of Tevinter. Which... never... that would be a nice thing to do, is actually just have a game set in Tevinter.
Hopefully they'll go there with the next one, or at least a little more focus on it.
Because this one, they mention Tevinter, they kind of have some stuff dealing with Tevinter, but not an overly large amount of stuff on Tevinter.
Oops.
And traps. The first of many I'll be running into.
They were clearly expecting.
Music is all excited and everyone's just dead.
Yeah, it just completely overrid the dialogue when I was playing. I'm like, what, everything's dead.
It's empty.
Waste of bloody time. Who put us up to
Anso?
I guess we had no choice but to go back to Anso and tell him.
Like, we know who put us up to this.
He paid us.
Nice little gameplay tip. Basically saying the enemy has Azavaline as well. And ambush.
That's not the elf. Who is that?
It doesn't matter. We were told to kill whoever enters the house.
always calling?
Actually, we're gonna run into our first enemy mage here, and we're gonna see why they're total dicks. Only because they drop in like that, and that's the first thing they do.
Go invincible.
Yeah. And for some reason teleport in one place, sort of? I don't know exactly what happened to him there.
Maybe his pathing fucked up. I meant to go somewhere else, but I just ended up here again.
Well, the odd thing was, he was teleporting and casting a spell.
I don't know who you are, friend, but you made a serious mistake coming here.
What, you mean Kirkwall?
Yeah, that was a pretty big mistake.
Lieutenant, I want everyone in the clearing, now!
And that's more blood than probably supposed to be in the body.
And your trap has failed. I suggest running back to your master while you can.
You're going nowhere, slave!
I am not a slave.
That just looks like a really bad
I
clip editing.
apologize. When I asked Anso to provide a distraction for the hunters, I had no idea they'd be so numerous.
I take it these men were looking for you.
Correct. My name is Fenris. These men were Imperial bounty hunters, seeking to recover a Magister's lost property, namely myself. They were trying to lure me into the open. Crude as their methods were, I could not face them alone.
You pussy.
Thankfully, Anso chose wisely.
Everything Anso said was a lie then.
One thing that's really weird is how the disconnect between the investigation dialogue and what your final choice actually sounds like.
Mm-hmm. This is all sort of just gentle inquiry and, oh, I don't know, then you're like, fuck you!
When you turn and face the tiger,
Unless you're playing the nice, in which everything lines up perfectly fine, but
That seems like a lot
it
of effort
doesn't
to find one slave.
make a lot of sense.
it is.
Does this have something to do with those markings?
And you also sound like a really,
I imagine
really
I
big
must
idiot
look
when you
strange.
play through.
I did
and
not receive these markings by
you
choice.
Don't quite get solid snake level at some points, but you get pretty close of just repeating an important word back to someone for more information.
Perhaps the deception was unnecessary. If so, I'm sorry. I've become too accustomed to hiding. If I may ask, what was in the chest? The one they kept in the house?
Shit.
It was empty.
I suppose it was
Load
too
of
much to
fire?
hope for. Even so,
Hopes and
I had
dreams?
to know.
You were expecting something else?
I was, but I shouldn't have. It was bait, nothing more.
I've done what you wanted. The job's over.
Not just yet. It's as I thought. My former master accompanied them to the
You
city.
didn't pick up anything.
I know you have questions, but I must...
You can tell that just by patting him.
Please. I will need your help.
It sounds like you intend to do more than just talk.
Denarius wants to strip the flesh from my bones, and has sent so many hunters that I've lost count. And before that, he kept me on a leash like a Qunari mage, a personal pet to
More
mock
mention of the
Qunari
Qunari.
custom. So,
Really fun
yes,
folk.
I intend to do more than just talk.
You lured me into a trap, and now you want my help.
If Anso had told you to divert an ambush of Tevinter bounty hunters, would you have done it?
Sure, why not?
I would have charged more.
My funds are limited, but I will find a way to repay you if you help me now. I swear it.
We need money.
If I'm compensated for my trouble, then I'll help.
The Magister is staying at a mansion in Hightown. Meet me there as soon as you can. We must enter before morning.
But when we demand money, we make Aveline sad. But that's okay. Aveline, you don't have to see what we're about to do.
We'll make it up to her.
We'll help her get married. Again.
No one has left the mansion, but I've heard nothing within. Denarius may know we're here. I wouldn't put it past him.
I could stand to know a little more about this Denarius.
He is a Magister of the Tevinter Imperium.
Oh, is that all? Nothing to worry about then.
There, he is a wealthy mage with great influence. Here, he is but a man who sweats like any other when death comes for him.
We should
I
wait
say
any
fuck
longer
him.
then.
Agreed.
One thing that is nice, though, is they actually get the... Because he is from Tevinter, he does actually know that he's actually a Magister, and not just puts the title of Magister on him, as they do with all the other people from Tevinter that are mages.
Denarius, show yourself.
Everyone stay still and try not to make any loud noises.
Right, our first trap disarm.
Oops.
Sort of. Varric still stepped on them trying to disarm them. Shades, our first demon sort of enemy.
That seems like normal occupants for a house.
Well, in Kirkwall, I wouldn't put it past people
Exactly.
to have shades around.
He sends spirits to do his fighting for him. Denarius, can you hear me? Your pets cannot stop us.
And this interior will be familiar by the end of the game.
I swear I've seen this place somewhere before.
Slightly less derelict, but very similar. Do not want to stand in the giant poison cloud.
It's gonna- Is that Varric's doing, or was that a trap? I forget.
That's a trap. And here, I almost completely lose the party because of it. So I kind of have to make everyone take a health potion. Because between the poison that was on the ground and the rage demon, that's invisible. Oh, there he is. Because the rage demons have a AoE of fire they just kind of emit at points. And it hurts. But they don't automatically have your tactics set up for you to use potions for your allies when they're under a certain amount of HP.
Oh, in Inquisition, you turn that shit off, or they'll drink all of them.
Well, considering in this one it's a lot harder for them just to take a really large hit, it's nice. But now we go searching for the owner of the house. With our sister lobbing fireballs, which ends up with a funny little bit of conversation. And even if you yourself are playing a mage, you get the funny little bit of a conversation in a slightly different way. The second most fun thing to do is just load your party up with mages. With Fenris, when you do this.
Because he's a big fan.
He just loves mages to death. Loot a city, and that's a very odd painting. I don't see why you have a painting of other people in your house.
Well, you know, they sold the house as is, including all of the ugly artwork. I mean, you know, books on the shelf, beer.
Yeah. Very annoying for rage demons to do that. But when they're alone, they're not that bad.
What difficulty are you playing on?
Normal.
Yeah.
I have tried playing on hard. I died in the prologue. I tried on Nightmare. I died where you're practically invincible. I probably should have paid more attention. I might make a video on showing off a fight or so in Nightmare difficulty and seeing how quickly I die later.
Countdown to death.
Oh, especially if I do it against a Pride Demon. That's about like 10 seconds. Chest we can't open. They never actually mention who those bodies are. And I ran the wrong way. And an arcane horror.
Those guys are shits.
Especially considering they have an instant teleport just wherever they want and a whole bunch of magic. So I normally aim for those guys first.
Yeah, I want to take them out.
The shades do basically nothing for damage. And are meant to be a distraction from the arcane horror in this.
Gone. I'd hoped... No, it doesn't matter any longer.
One of many conversations we'll have over covered in blood.
Take them if you wish. I need some air.
That was always a great effect in this in Origins. Just having a jolly conversation with somebody completely splattered with stuff.
It's just like, this is totally normal.
Mm-hmm. Nobody says anything. You walk up to them, covered in gore. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Right. Sure, I might have split some demons in half, and I probably shouldn't have some of this blood on me because Darkspawn. But it's all good. What's up? And now we just exit the house, and we have a decision to make, which I've already made. Because he's a companion, we keep him.
It never ends. I escaped a land of dark magic, only to have it hunt me at every turn. It is a plague burned into my flesh and my soul.
Wah.
And Now I find myself in the company of even more.
And this is where the only good cutscene
You can speak
would
to them
be
directly.
having yourself as a mage, Merrill as a mage, and Anders here.
I should have
Because you
realized
all have a snarky bit of dialogue back at him for it.
you harbor a viper in your midst. It will turn on you and strike when you least expect. That is in its nature.
My sister is stronger than you think.
You tell him, sis.
I'm not blind. I know magic has its uses, and there are undoubtedly mages with good intentions.
Merrill,
But
she
even
has
the
good
best
intentions.
intentioned mage
Her intentions are the best.
temptation
It's her execution that's a little bit lacking.
to inflict upon others.
yeah.
No one's stopping you from moving on, you know.
I imagine I appear ungrateful. If so, I apologize, for nothing could be further from the truth. I did not find Denarius, but I still owe you a debt. Here is all the coin I
And a nice piece of messed up continuity. Fenris's voice actor does Samson in Inquisition.
Your old master must want something more than just a runaway slave.
He doesn't want me at all, just the markings on my skin. They are lyrium, burned into my flesh to provide the power that Denarius required of his pet. And now,
They never mention exactly what lyrium actually looks like properly for a while. Because
You aren't afraid I'll sell you
you
out?
have to assume, based off
not so far.
things that happen, lyrium is a
I know nothing
rock
the
of some
rituals
sort.
that placed these markings on me. It was Denarius's choice.
Or, well, a mineral of some sort. And it gives Templars their powers, boosts magic power of mages, and can somehow be turned into powerful
All
tattoos.
the power over the chantry.
It's that
over the
substance in the game that does whatever the developers want it to
ability
do.
to own a slave. Denarius had
Right there
many,
next to blood magic.
but none he valued so much as
Pretty much.
Then how did you get away?
Is it not enough that I did? I carved my path to freedom in blood. I left that life behind. Yet his bounty hunters follow me no matter where I go. I will run no longer.
I've seen some of your abilities. Do they come from those markings?
Some. All I know is that even in the Imperium, warriors such as myself are rare. Perhaps they believe I should feel honored.
Do you think your master will keep chasing you?
He is too proud not to. Perhaps one day the hunt will cost him more than he is willing to pay, but I doubt that matters any longer.
Are you going to have a problem with my companions?
I will watch them carefully if we travel together. I can promise no more.
Yes, we want an anime elf.
I'm planning an expedition.
We
I
want
might
all the
need
anime
help.
elves.
Fair enough. Should you ever have need of me, I will be here. If Denarius wishes his majesty,
And now he becomes a
he
squatter.
is free to return.
His house is better than ours.
Beyond that,
At this point in time, anyway.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, talk around with Fenris for a while. Oh. Well, that's fun.